Welcome to Bhagavad Gita for the Creative Soul. This is episode 23, Separating Creativity from Passion. And Saurin is figuring out how to create from a space of intuitive wisdom and insights.
When I was in my early 20s, someone I greatly admired advised me, follow your passion and do what you love, even if it means you do not get paid for it. And once you get very good at it, people will happily pay you. I was assured that every successful artist and entrepreneur started with a passion that they then transformed into a profession. I took the advice to heart. Now, there are always a few who are clear about what they want from the very beginning. And many of them are willing to follow their passion to the exclusion of everything else. But I was not one of them. And I spent years trying to figure out my passion. What was the one thing I was so in love with that I could dedicate the rest of my life to it? I tried many ideas, thoughts, and paths. But as I got bored or things slowed down, I dropped them. Episode 19, Staying on the Bus, is about this frustration. It was like going around in a circle while trying to figure a way out. Now, if you know me, you'd say, Saurin, you're a writer. You excel at it and have transformed your passion into a profession. Well, from the outside, it may seem so, but I will be honest. Writing does not always bring me joy. I'm not sure if it ever will. I love coming up with ideas, and the satisfaction of finishing a project is undeniable. And of course, I love being complimented for my words. But the process in between. I'd started to get this feeling that this passion-driven strategy was nothing but confusion and overwhelm. But if not passion, then what? It took the following shlok to shift my perspective.
Sattvam rajastam iti gunaha prakriti sambhavaha nibadhnanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyayam. Chapter 14, verse 5. The modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance arise from the material world. O mighty armed Arjun, they bind the eternal soul to the perishable body.
According to the shlok, although our soul is divine, its identification with the body ties it to Prakriti, which, for the sake of simplicity, is defined as nature or the material world. This material energy possesses three gunas or modes: sattva or goodness, rajas or passion, and tamas or ignorance. Our body, mind, and intellect possess these three gunas. Based upon our karma over the lifetimes and our present thoughts and external circumstances, one of the modes become dominant for each of us and influences our personality. Now, while passion is often celebrated, it is not always the most conducive state for creative work. Unchecked passion can result in excesses or imbalances that hinder the creative process, since the rajas or passion mode activates strong desires and attachments. And as I had mentioned in episode 2, creating without attachments, whenever I am present enough to maintain detachment, I stop feeling overwhelmed and begin to enjoy the creative process. Ultimately, creating work that is not only meaningful but also deeply fulfilling. So, here are some action steps I am taking. Creative diversification. I have always explored unconventional creative practices and projects that aligned with my skills, but where the output was not solely the written word. From comics to performing my stories and now this podcast. Until now, I embraced the opportunities as they came. But from now on, I will be more intentional about this. Because then I can create without having to worry about my passion. Mindfulness and self-reflection. I have started to carve out more time in the day for myself. By cultivating these two powers, I will be better able to observe my thoughts and emotions and find clarity amidst chaos. This will allow me to approach my creative endeavors with a more centered and detached perspective. Study and apply. Books like The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield and The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron can help me to explore detachment in the creative process, shedding light on how to maintain a balance between passion and detachment. Both these books are way up in my read and apply list. Practice detachment. By consciously focusing on the creative process rather than on the outcomes, I can have a more open and inspired approach to my work. As I embrace these steps, I am starting to detach from my passionate or rajas side. However, while the sattvic state is associated with wisdom, clarity, and balance, there is a risk of becoming attached to the concept of goodness. This can lead to rigidity of thought, a false sense of superiority, and a fear of regression, all of which will cause stagnation in my growth and creativity. Ultimately, I must create from a space of absolute detachment. But that is easier said than done. For now, I do what I can. Thank you for your time and attention. The greatest gift you can give me. I am Saurin Desai, and each week I delve into the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. Together, let's create a community of creative souls on this journey of self-discovery and growth. If you have any thoughts, questions, or feedback, reach me at gitacreativesoul@gmail.com. And from this moment onwards, I am on a quest to separate creativity from passion so that I can create from a space of intuitive wisdom and insights.